Well, good afternoon, guys. It's me, Alex, your sassy dispatcher and the founder of Dispatch Training Center. I guess today I'm trying to do live from our office in Schaumburg just to make sure that everything works good and you guys can hear me. So, if any of you going to be watching, please let me know about the sound and let me know about the quality. Well, as a new dispatcher, as a seasoned dispatcher, any person in trucking, well, you have certain daily tasks that you have to do. And I've been scrolling through the questions from your comments. Guys, if you are watching, please can you let me know in the comments if you can hear me well? Because it's my first stream from the new office. So I want to make sure that it's a good connection. I would really appreciate. So we have different tasks, and you need to prioritize certain things, like in any business. Every day, new things are happening, and you need to make sure that you stick to the same routine. So the first thing is thank you, Tatiana. Thank you so much. So the first thing, you need to always start fresh. I don't want you to keep those loads in your head when you guys go to sleep. I don't want you to bring those worries when you finish your dispatch. And why? Because it's going to drag you energy out and you're gonna eventually start hating trucking, especially in this market. So just listen to my personal advice. After you're done, forget about the loads for today, forget about all the problems you had today. Concentrate on something different. Your family, your kids, go outside, do whatever you want, but do not bring trucking to 24/7 in your life, right? So the new day starts. Well, we need to make sure that we check on our drivers. So making sure that everything's still on schedule, because it depends where your driver goes. Sometimes you have transit 2, 3, 4 days. If you are doing short haul, wow, you'd better make sure that they all on schedule. So this is your daily task in the morning when you start. And usually the dispatchers, we are starting by 8 a.m. what Eastern time, right? So if you are in Chicago, well, you probably better be already awake and in front of your computer by 7:30. Why? Because you want to make sure you post your equipment, you check on what's going on. Well, the second thing is building that communication. And in my training, I'm always telling you guys, it's not about the brokers, it's not about the drivers, but it's always about you. You are the one who needs to make sure that you update the brokers, not only via the phone, not only by checking that everything is good, but emailing, right? And make sure you keep those emails professional. Nowadays, with all the chat GPT, with all the apps, well, you can even make few templates so it's easier for you, right? Well, dear Mike, we are on schedule. Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity. Thank you so much for this load. Our ETA is going to be 2 p.m. today. Please let me know if you have this load again. Do you see what you're doing? You are building that relationship, because if Mike or Mary or Steve or Alex, as a broker, receive those communications every time they give the load to you, well, what are they going to do? They're going to start loving working with you. So let's say we take Tatiana as an example, right? So Tatiana is that dispatcher. So if Tatiana booked the load, I don't care, even if it's TQL, right? Well, she's emailing, she's telling them, she gives the update. Next time when she calls, when she emails, they want to work with Tatiana. And that's how you can get those extra $100, $150, $200 per load, because nobody wants to deal with not answering the phones, with not getting updates from you, with you and your driver simply disappearing for a while. Let's be honest. The brokers also have to do their job, right? They have customers. They worry about insurance claim. They don't want that cargo to disappear. So as much as we hate and we say, well, they call too many times, well, this is a part of their job. So we need to respect that. For you to eliminate those phone calls, you have to be the first one who gives them updates. Well, then we have other tasks that we usually dealing with. And it's something that changes. So let's say you had detention, let's say you had layover, let's say your load got canceled. So let's first start with detention. So first, detention can be paid on both ends. So unloading side and on unloading. Can the same load have two detentions? Of course. You went to pick up, let's say, candy in Ferrera in Chicago location, right? And they hold your truck for 6 hours. Well, you're going to request detention on loading. You finally got loaded. You delivering this load somewhere in Kroger, let's say in Cincinnati, and there they took longer. So you can have detention on loading and unloading. Let's write down for newbies. When you talk about detention, first, you always need to start detention. That's why we have so many detentions not paid. Because on a rate confirmation, it always says your driver or dispatcher have to call us 30 minutes, 45 minutes prior detention starting. So how are you guys going to calculate that? Well, let's just give a really easy example. Your appointment was at 12 o'clock today, 12 p.m. And you got there on time. It's already 1. Well, you're not worried about this. It's already 1:30. Let's say you're driving and rate confirmation says we're going to pay detention after 2 hours. But you need to call and start detention. So in this case, when do you have to call the broker? When do you have to log into that app? When your driver has to check on his tracking to request detention? Well, probably not later than 1:30 because the detention gonna start at 10, but you need to inform your broker. And what most brand new dispatchers or busy dispatcher miss? Well, they don't do that. And drivers usually think that this is not my job. I am here driving. I am not here to do dispatcher's job. And this miscommunication or this kind of neglect is gonna cost you that detention approval. So remember, you have to start detention. This is the first thing. Second thing, you need to keep your time, and after your driver leaves, you still need to send to the broker in and out time. And usually, if you go to facility which is modern, which has security shed, well, it's gonna be there, right? In and out time. But we are still dealing with so many facilities that just have small office. So your driver needs to make sure before he leaves, when he receives that BOL, bill of lading, that there is in and out time. Make sure, let's say your driver forgot to do it and it's not from the shipping office. Well, make sure he still puts because he was there. He's still tracking there, right? So now you have in and out time. Now you're going to go to receiver. If the same situation is going to happen there, well, the process is going to be the same. Let's say that you got detention here for 2 hours and you got detention on the receiving side for 3 hours. Well, after you got unloaded, what do you need to do? You need to make sure you request revised rate confirmation with detention unloading for 2 hours and detention on unloading with another 3 hours. So total is 5 hours. And let me ask you this, is it always going to be the same? Because this is a question is always asked by my new students. Is it always $25? Is it always $30? Is it always $50? It all depends on the load, and it all depends on the customer. So one more time, even if it is TQL load, even if it is RXO load, even if it is CH rounds on the load, it doesn't matter. It all depends on the customer who is paying for that freight, right? So some loads are going to be $20 per hour detention. Some of them going to be 40. Some of them going to be even 50. But here I want you to pay attention. Let's say we got to that Cincinnati Kroger and you checked in, and unfortunately, the broker did not make appointment for delivery. And now you need to wait till tomorrow to get unloaded. And hopefully it's not going to be afternoon. Hopefully it's still going to be in the morning. In this case, the detention technically becoming layover, right? Layover till the next day. You are staying there till the next day, and the broker usually is going to offer you same nonsense that they all do. $150 for drive-in, hopefully $200 or $250 for reefer, and for flatbed, it depends on how good you ask them for that layover. But usually, drive-in is $150. So pay attention here. Every load has a maximum allowed detention. So if they are paying $40 per hour and maximum allowed detention is 6 hours, well, 6 multiplied by 40 is going to be $240. Is it better than get layover? Yes, it is. So in my class, I always stress this out. You should request the broker that instead of layover, I want to have maximum detention allowed on this load. And at 99% of the time, it's going to be way more than $150 or $200. So one more time, the tension has limit there, how many hours they pay, after how many hours. And a lot of times, if you agree to live loading, if it's a first come, first serve, if it's a fresh produce, they're gonna tell you there is not gonna be any detention. So make sure you read and you ask broker before you agree to the rate. So we got detention, we got layovers. In both cases, what is our task as a dispatcher? Well, in both times, we need to do something. We need to get updated paperwork, right? We need to make sure we request revised rate confirmation. So this is one of the tasks you guys have to do. You need to get revised rate confirmation. You need to attach lumper receipt. You need to attach washout receipt for invoicing, right? You need to make sure that you check on all the pages of the PODs, right? Because after delivery, the BOL is becoming POD, proof of delivery. So before you submit, you want to make sure that those scans are really clean, that they are not crooked, right? And again, nowadays we all have fancy fonts, technology set up. So there's no excuse that my driver cannot take a good scan. That maybe driver needs to improve those skills, because this is a part of the business now. To get paid, they require the clean and full scan of PODs, any lumper receipts, any washouts receipts, whatever else. Maybe they want an empty scale ticket before and after. Maybe you were doing pallet exchange and they have to compensate you for that. So whatever it is, the part of your dispatching daily routine is make sure that you do it right away, untimely matter. What I have seen all the time, people put it, oh, I'll do it on Friday. I'll send all the invoicing on Friday. Or I will make sure I respond to the broker tomorrow. And then you get busy. Now the broker's calling you, you did not answer, and now you kind of putting that mark on yourself. Well, uh, they don't answer, they ignore us, they don't submit paperwork. And here's another catch there. Every rate confirmation nowadays states that copies and scans of PODs must be sent to the broker within 24 to 48 hours. And what happening? The biggest mistakes you guys do, you say, but I submitted with my factoring. I submitted with RTS, I submitted with OTR, I submitted with, I don't know, Riviera Financial, I submitted with Loves. It was their job to send it to broker right away. Well, I can tell you this as an agent of RTS. Yes, it is our job to send the invoice, but RTS doesn't have to do it within 24 hours, 48 hours. They're going to approve the payment to you, and you're going to receive the money when they verify the load, but invoice can be sent later. So whose fault is this when you get in short pay for not sending PODs on time? You, and you. You know me, I'm direct, I'm not gonna sweet talk, and I can tell you this. We as a dispatcher, we have to do lots of things. And instead of making up stories for our driver, well, that's because of, that cheap TQL, they don't pay the attention. Maybe you should learn to take responsibility and say, hey, Mike, you know what? I forgot to start detention. I forgot to tell you to start detention. And I simply missed 3 pages of PODs when I was submitting it to factoring. So stop making lies as a dispatchers, because all the short pays, all the detentions, all the layover requests, all the things, it's you, and you, right? So what else we have to do? Well, we need to make sure that we are checking on what's going on with market, right? And today, because I am on YouTube, I cannot actually share my screen. Actually, you know what? I think we can share the screen. So let's see. Oh my God, let's try. Share. Let's see how it's gonna look. Ooh, look at this, guys. This is something new I learned, right? So let's look. So what's going on nowadays in the market, right? Let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay. If you are new, and hopefully you can see this very good right now, well, we have a dashboard, right? We have all the things we can do, but the 3 main things that DAT is telling us that we can post a truck, we can search loads, and we can search for the trucks. So as a dispatcher, of course, you're going to post a truck because you're going to advertise your equipment exactly in, let's say, Chicago, exactly for today, for tomorrow. You know that you're going to have Conestoga or Power Only or Drive and or Reefer, and that's what you're going to post, right? So who is searching for the loads? Well, as a dispatcher, you also can search for the loads, but in this case, you're not going to receive phone calls. So one more time, especially for people outside of the USA, your biggest problem is why you never receive phone calls? Because instead of posting your truck, advertising it, and making sure that brokers see that you want them to call you, you are searching for the loads. When you're searching, you are always at the mercy of what? Of calling them, right? So, and who is searching for the trucks? Well, brokers searching for the trucks, or you as a dispatcher can also search for the trucks. So let's see. Let's actually search for the trucks. I want to see how many reefers are posted today in Chicago. And I'm going to leave it to everywhere. I'm going to decrease to 75. So hopefully we have less companies. I'm going to put reefers. I'm going to put 53, right? How big is our trailer is. And here I'm just going to put 45,000 maximum that is allowed. I'm going to make sure for right now, how many companies are still posting reefer in Chicago? Because remember, I went to search the trucks. So when I'm searching for the trucks, well, looks what's happening. I see the companies right here, right? So look, I see Matrix Logistics, JG Zoom, Bogista Inc., T Transport, MR Express, Tyrus Inc., Bion Trucking, Choban Transportation, whatever. So who is this? This is all the carriers right now that posted available reefer. And they all, of course, because they posted, we can see where they look to go. So how can you use this as a new dispatcher? Well, let's see. You can open and it's going to help you to see where is the company located. In this case, I mean, I don't even know this company. Hopefully, they're not going to get upset. We're talking about Matrix Logistics, actually in Schaumburg, Illinois, right? So let's see if we go into look in the directory. Let's see. So Matrix Logistics, somewhere my neighbors right here, because I am in Schaumburg, Illinois. Go to classic version. Oh, we need to get set up for that. Okay. So how else can I find these people? Well, I can go to Safer, right? But in this case, let's see. If we go to Safer right here, remember Safer snapshot, you can find all the companies, right? So you go to company snapshot and we're going to post this MC right here, and we should find that this is Matrix Logistics located in Schaumburg, and they have 60 power units. They are here on Remington Road. So if you look at their commodities, well, seems like they're general freight. They are interstate company, right? They also hold building materials, paper, beverage, chemicals. So maybe they have flatbeds, but mostly probably drive-in. This is their safety, not bad for this amount of trucks. They are under 11%, which is great. They had so many inspection for the vehicle maintenance, 98, for the drivers, 142. So for some of you, well, it's going to be information if you are looking to become a company dispatcher here in Schaumburg, because I don't think that Matrix Logistics is going to let you dispatch from home unless they have outsource dispatch service somewhere, maybe, I don't know, Moldova, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, I don't know, Serbia. But usually when they have 60 trucks, they want you to work from office. So you are gonna tell me, Alex, why the hell it's gonna matter for me as a dispatcher? Well, because you can see, look, they posting truck in Wisconsin, they want to go to Z4, Z5, Z6. You already, when you call for an interview, well, you can see that they posted the reefer. Well, they probably need to catch up with their safety, because if they posted the reefer, well, they need to add the fresh produce here. They need to get refrigerated food, right? So their safety probably needs to register for our upcoming class in person in actually Schaumburg. So we're gonna reach out to them. Guys, don't hate me if you guys part of the Matrix Logistics, but safety matters, right? So in this case, you calling them and you saying, well, I see that you guys usually here in Chicago and your drivers are go to Midwest. Can I schedule an interview, right? So maybe before you go, you going to search what are people paying, right? So let's organize from A to Z, okay, and see, did they post only one truck or how many trucks they posted? So let's find them again. And so far, actually, they have only one truck. But that's what you guys gonna use. Look at this, for example. Net Enterprise Ltd, they are posting few trucks. In this case, just looking at this, what can you tell me about Net Enterprise? Well, first, look, they want to go to Canada. So probably you are dealing with Canadian authority, right? Look, even for the MC, they are located in Canada. So maybe before you're gonna reach out to them, you have to learn about crossing border with Canada, the paperwork, and you can see how it works. Since we are talking about Canada, remember, when Canadian carriers come to deliver load in Chicago, for example, and in this case, let's say they are from Toronto, well, they cannot keep driving in the USA. Let's say, oh, it's okay. For 5 days, we're going to take Chicago to Memphis, Memphis to Dallas, Dallas all the way to Toronto. They cannot do that. So when they come in, they only have to go back to Canada. And do you think everybody follows this? Well, not really. There's a lot of scams about that as well. But when they get stopped, well, they get violations. So this about what? Searching companies. Amber Trucking, IRS Trucking, A to B. So this is our reefers for today. What if I change? Look, 226 postings right now for today for reefer. What if I change equipment? Let's see what's going on with the flatbeds. So let's search. Well, how many flatbeds are searching for the load today? Well, look, we still have 156 postings, right? It's maybe not 156 companies, but close to this, because sometimes you see 4 or 5 different posts from the company. Okay, what about dry vans? So let's see. Let's delete flatbeds and let's search now. Well, look at this, 759. So what can we say when we look at this data? Well, we can say that dry van loads probably not really paying well right now from Chicago. Today is Thursday. So a lot of companies are still searching for the loads because there is no load. So let's see. Let's verify that. Let's go to the tools and let's go to market conditions and let's see what the market conditions are going to tell us. So we are looking at outbound, right? Because we want to make sure that we look in how many loads can we find right now. Let's put the same Chicago, right? So we're going to put Chicago, Illinois. Let's start with a dry van. And we're going to look for today. And look, it tells us the market conditions are very tight. It tells us that there's supposed to be 4,400 loads and 2,500 trucks, which is 1.7, right? How satisfied or not satisfied you with this product? Well, kind of not satisfied or satisfied because this data is not accurate. Why? I want to prove to you this. Look at this. I want to see if they are telling me that today was 4,400 loads posted right now for today, right? For dry van in Chicago. Let's say it's middle of the day. I want to see at least 2,000 loads are still on the board because we're still in the middle of the day. So let's see. Let's find it. Let's search my trucks. Let's post my truck right now, right? So let's post it right now. We're going to post Chicago. We're gonna choose dry van. We're going to do 53. We're going to put 46 for the purpose of posting. We can even choose to my cell phone, and we're going to post. And look at this, view in search. So we only see 887 results, right? So where is this 4,000 loads? As again, I can justify half because it's a middle of the day right now. So do we see 2,000 loads for drive-in? No. Let's change to reefer. Let's do the reefer. Right now in Chicago, let's search. Look at this. We have only 489. Let's go back to this market. Let's change here for the reefer. Let's update. And they are telling us that they have 2,600 loads for today and not that many trucks. Great load to truck ratio. Wow, do we see them? It's only 490 for the whole country, guys. I did not even put the destination. And remember, we were going here 100 miles deadhead because we're not going 150 miles all over. We have to eliminate deadhead. So 400 results. Let's go to flatbeds. Let's see how many flatbeds loads are still in Chicago right now on Thursday in the middle of the day. 214 only. And what is the map going to tell us? Let's change to flatbed and let's see. For today, they said it was 2,200 loads and only 197 trucks. So do you see why I'm not satisfied with data? Because data is so different from what are they telling us and what is the reality. So yes, it's good for you as a new dispatcher. You need to start learning all this and kind of see what is a better area. But remember, if you just look at the colors, if you just look at where should you go, always pay attention to these numbers first, but then go and post, right? Always go and post and see their reality. Let's see the highest paying load. And we're going to be done for today. So the highest paying load for flatbed. Look at this, $7 per mile. Let's see. Who is posting this? Well, it's posted by Well Logistics. And it's flatbed or step deck, commodities freight of all kind. And look, it's going to North Carolina. It's picking up from Milwaukee, so you need to deadhead. So if we would have time right now, well, we need to call and see what is involved. But it looks like a golden load, right? Do you agree? Let's see another highest paying load. Well, going to Toronto, $8 per mile. Well, let's go a little bit realistic. Let's say we're going to Pittsburgh. So how much are they paying right now? Chicago to Pittsburgh, 22,000, flatbed or step deck, and they are paying 2,900 on 459 miles. So $6 per mile. Well, not that bad for flatbed, right? Let's change this to reefers and let's see the highest paying load right now at 1 p.m. in Chicago. What time is it right now? Yeah, almost 1 p.m. in Chicago. So let's see the highest paying load. Well, we're not going south, we're not going to Canada. So let's see. 248 to South Carolina. Well, somebody's calling us. I don't know if that's a broker or not, but we'll let it run. We're going to, let's find another one. Of course, going to Florida. 4,000, but it's only 286 per mile. So you don't want to go to that Florida. And that's what Florida's paying. You have to pay attention. You need to deadhead to Gary, Indiana. You have to go to Milwaukee. If you decide to go to Florida, at least do not go all the way to Miami. Go to Jacksonville, at least Tampa, so it's less deadhead for you, right? Because a lot of times you're going to go empty to Georgia. So this is your highest paying loads for reefer. One more time. We don't really know what is involved, so we cannot really justify if it's good or not because we're not calling today. And by the way, if you want to start being part of just real phone calls and see how it goes, well, make sure you put comments and you put likes, right? Because if I have to sit here and waste my time, at least I have to get something back, right? Maybe subscribe, maybe share, maybe put the comment, put the like, so you help the growth of our channel. And let's check what's going on with power only, right? So lots of you are not happy with Amazon. And look at this. Now they said you can put power only loadout options, power only, and power only towaway. So in this case, let's say power only, and let's search what's going on here. So this is what we have. If you are power only and you are in Chicago area, you can go to pick up somewhere in Michigan and go to Texas. Well, hopefully you guys learned something new today. Hopefully you like our channel. Make sure you put the comments which topics would you like me to cover. Thank you for your time. Thank you for helping me, Tatiana, to actually verify that will immediately and you will no longer be alive. Okay, not yet. So I learned one more thing. I wanted to stop sharing the screen, but it tells me if I stop sharing, it's gonna end my stream. So I guess I have to end my stream and say goodbye and see you soon.